Hey everyone, I got a new camera. Welcome to the Squatch Zone. And you know what? I want to thank everyone for tuning in and I know that I'm not like the regular guy with every week tuning in at the same time. I'm working on it though. I was having problems with my camera. After I did the move, it just seemed like it wouldn't focus. And I'm going to see about getting that one fixed. But until then, I figured out how to use a different camera. And hopefully it looks a lot better. And I fixed up the lights a little bit better. So welcome to the Squatch Zone tonight on a Sunday on a Labor Day weekend. What's happening? Hi, Connie and John. I have some cool topics tonight. Jeffrey had a guy on named Dean Bolton, and he wants to really get the word out on what he has. So around 7:30, I'm going to call him, and we'll have him on the show tonight and share some of his videos. In fact, I'm going to share him and everything before he even comes on. Cool, Aaron. I will pray. How's it going, Jerry and Daytona and Amanda? You guys doing all right this weekend? Hi, Connie. Yes, I did get my package. Wow, that was so cool. Hold on, I gotta get that. I'm gonna show you guys. Oh, let me see. I forgot all about it. So what do you think, man? Is that a Squatch popper or what? It's a weapon. It's from the Crow tribe. It's authentic. It says leg bone deer tine weapon, and the artisan is Bright Sky, and he's Crow. So it's pretty cool, huh? I guess back in the day, man, they would be hitting people with these. Wow. I tell you, that is so cool. Thank you, Connie. Thank you so much. That is going to look good in here somewhere. It will very much. Okay, so how's it going, Ruth Ann? You're living the dream. Man, right, I was going to be on a little bit earlier, and the toilet backed up, and then I found out all the toilets are backed up. So somewhere in the main line I have a backup, or it's backed up, and I ran and got some stuff and poured down in there, poured 2 pans of boiling water so far, and just having a really good evening. But I decided, like right now it's just gonna simmer, or whatever you want to call it, and I'm going on because I wanted to come on and try this camera out. What do you think? Does it look better than the other camera? I think it does. Hi, James. How are you? And Pocket Pro, what's up? Pocket Pro. Gotta love that name. Pocket Pro Football. Pocket Pro Football helmets. Wow, you got a notification? That is good. Okay, so before I even start with Dean's videos, right before I came on, my son tagged me in a post on Facebook, and there was another Bigfoot sighting today at Millerton Lake. For all the people in the Central Valley, Fresno, Clovis, around here, close by here, they all know where Millerton Lake is, and a Bigfoot at Millerton Lake. That makes the 3rd sighting in about a year at Millerton Lake. And I can imagine today Millerton Lake is probably crowded. I mean, there's probably boaters all over the place. Hi, Claudia. So I was trying to see if I could get more information on that, like where were they, what did they see. Only I didn't have enough time. Maybe, if I get a hold of her tomorrow or sometime later on, I'll come on again tomorrow on Labor Day and do a Labor Day special Millerton Lake Bigfoot sighting. Hi, Elle. How are you? The studio. Oh, it looks good, huh? I was wondering about the camera. I changed up the camera to the one I take out in the field, and it normally doesn't work as a live stream camera, but there was this little doodad thing that converter, and I bought one, and it got here today, USPS, and I plugged it in and it worked, and then I messed around and got it like situated, got my light situated, and now I'm all set. Hi, John. How are you? Everything's going good with Jeffrey. He's doing really well. In fact, I think he does better without me, really. Honestly, I think he can. Maybe I was like a distraction to him because he can form his thoughts better, and he's just running real smooth. I'm actually pretty proud of him on his own. And then we still go out, like this Bigfoot I'm gonna share here in a minute. Today we were scheduled to go and do a comparison shot, but the guy already did it, so we didn't have to drive down there and do that. So we still hang out, we still do things. Jeffrey's a really good friend. I'm proud that he's doing really good. His show is really starting to really look good. It's polished. I like that. I'm not like wanting to do that kind of thing. I rather get on here and chat with everybody and share cool stuff. Like, I'm more into you guys. Like, you guys are the greatest people in the whole world. I'm more into you guys. I want to bring content for you guys. I'm not all about being on TV or anything like that. It's all about my friends, and you guys are my friends, and we're adding new friends all the time. It's really cool. So there you go. That's me. That's me in a nutshell. But anyways, now Jeff had this guy on his show a couple days ago, and wait a minute, before I even get going, I'll go back to me again. I don't like talking about me a lot. I am planning on doing, putting out a show, a live one, to hang out with you guys on the weekends. Usually, I think Saturday is a good day, Friday night or Saturday night. And I'm just not done with all the projects at my house. We just had to buy a new mattress for our bed. I'm still not done painting all the trim and all that stuff. My car broke. The power steering unit started leaking on me, and some kind of electric door thing went off, and it's on the back side of I got the part. It was $300 at the part stores. I got it for $10 at Pick and Pull, but it took me 2 hours. The dash and everything was tore apart at Pick and Pull, but I actually went over there and found the only one car like mine, a Sienna, and it actually had the part, but it took me 2 hours, even though it was stripped to the bones and I could see it. It took me 2 hours to get it off, and then I still broke a bunch of stuff. So I'm leery about getting in mine and messing with it. I don't want to break anything, but one thing at a time. I let everything pile up, and then I've been doing all kinds of stuff. My wife has fibromyalgia. They just found out, and we've been doing all these tests, and I've been like doing a lot of medical stuff with her, so my time has been really spread thin. So bear with me. I will get, the Saturday thing going sooner or later, but I'm doing it at my pace, and I hope everybody doesn't mind too much. So, with that said, I'm looking at chat C here. Okay, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start off with the video. And he has like 3 videos, but I'm just going to run one video, the start of his sighting, and I think it's so cool. And I won't be able to see chat, sadly, while I do this. And so, with no further ado, here we go. Let's see, and I think it was this one. And I'm going to start it.
I found Bigfoot.
It is not.
Quiet.
It's a horse.
It's not a horse.
It's a person. And it's just a guy on a hike.
No way.
Why isn't it? It could be a bear. We have bears.
Bears don't walk on 2 legs.
Yes, they do.
They do, but not like that.
Yeah, they do.
Holy.
Stop.
Who in the hell would be dressed in all black?
He's up with somebody else. There's 2 people now.
No, there's one person. I have it on film. I can laugh at you later.
I thought I saw 2 people.
That is Sasquatch.
Oh, come on, dude. That's 2 people. Don't you see him?
You are blind, man.
My eyes are doing crazy stuff.
Something told me to look over there.
Bigfoot told him to look over there. Yeah. Okay, so then the next one is, this is the comparison.
All right, we're prepared to get your mind blown again. Here we go. There I am on top of the mountain.
And he lined them up perfectly so you can see.
Opacity now. See that? Coming into play. You see the hilltop lining up? There's Bigfoot. That thing's massive. There's no way a big fat person is climbing a hill. I had a hard time. This guy didn't brake. I took brakes. This is crazy. Look how tiny I am. That thing is ginormous. That's insane. I'm freaking happy I didn't run into that when I was up there. Holy.
Okay, and he has one more. We'll do this one.
Okay, I'm doing the overlay for the videos. First one here is me. Dressed in all black. And I've laid them pretty close to each other. And I will bring the opacity up now so you can see whatever the hell this is. If it is Bigfoot, I don't know. But that thing is way bigger than me. Look at how that comes in. That thing is bigger than me. Much bigger. You can see, I mean, I've lined up the poles. I downgrade the opacity. See that? So I'm playing with it like that. Pretty aligned. between the two videos. I'm trying to slow it down. You can see, yeah, it's lined up. Those poles are lined up. That thing is massive. Way bigger than me. Now, the height, I'm not sure because it's kind of, the legs are kind of hunchy. You can see that. The legs are not extended. Mine look more extended. So there might be another, I don't know, 6 inches, a foot, maybe a foot and a half. That thing stood up. That's trippy.
That's trippy. It is. You did a good job.
He's massive though.
Yeah, I
Look how
agree with
tiny I
them.
am. Look how big that is. That's crazy. All right, I'll make another video.
Yeah, so, and this is his site. It's a public group. If you guys are on Facebook, it's called Tracking Bigfoot. Public group. Go ahead and join. He wants everybody to join, so everybody go over there and join. And what did you think of that, huh? Is that cool? That was pretty cool. You know what's cool is when I first saw the first Bigfoot I saw, that's how I saw it. It was standing on top of a ridge like that, and I saw him outlined to the sky like that. And the only difference was it started walking down the mountain towards me. But I got to tell you, when I call him at 7:30, oh, it is 7:30, huh? Let me see. I should give him a call. But he says now it walked up the hill and it didn't take a break. When they walked up the hill, they had to stop 3 or 4 times. Let's see if he's ready yet.
Hello.
Hello, is this Dean?
This is Dean. Is it Alan?
Yes, it is. How you doing, Dean? Thank you so much, man, for coming on and letting me share those things.
Absolutely. Well,
Oh, you're kind of breaking up a little bit.
oh, my bad. Let's see if I put my phone. That's any different. Is that any better?
Yeah, that sounds great. And I just showed the first video where you first noticed, and I think you said it was your mom that was talking. It was a bear walking and all that, and that's hilarious, But that is what goes through everybody's mind. And then I showed the 2 comparison videos that were done, and I think you said your brother did those. Excellent. Excellent, man. I mean, they're lined up. You can see the difference. It's excellent.
Yep, and special thanks to my brother for doing that one.
Yeah, thank you. And then I think I got your last name. I said Bolton. I think I got it wrong. How do you say your last name?
It's just like cotton, but with a E instead of a C. Cotton.
Botten. Okay. And then I showed your Facebook group.
Awesome, I appreciate it.
And told everybody to go join. And there's quite a few in chat right now, so they're all saying it was a good deal, good thing.
I appreciate it greatly. Yeah, I started that group actually the very, very day after I saw this thing. So I'm going to try to turn my screen off on my phone so it saves the battery.
Oh, sure.
So if I lose you, just call me back.
Okay, no problem.
All right, 1 second. Still there?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So, yeah, did you have any additional questions? regarding it, or?
No, actually, I didn't get on. I had a little bit of emergency, so I didn't get right on at 7. We had my sewer line backed up. So I started a pot of boiling water and poured some stuff down there, and I'm hoping it's all, simmering and going to go through when I'm done. But only I had time to do that.
Yeah. So, well, good. Well, best of luck with that. So I don't know how many people of your audience members know the entire story, but long story short, my family lives up in Akron, and my mom's up there as well. My brother. Basically, I'm hearing my echo.
Oh, are you?
So, yeah.
Do you have a computer on or anything?
No, I just have my phone.
Huh.
So if that continues, I might have you call me back, but we may have a bad connection. I'll try.
I can try something else here really quick here. Sometimes it can be the audio on this thing. Okay, how's that? How's that?
Testing. It's a little bit.
Yeah, it might be your signal because you're kind of breaking up too.
Do you want to try to call back in a couple minutes?
Yeah, sure. Or you have my number on there. Maybe it might be better if you try calling me this time. Might get a better signal.
That would be fine. So I'll give it about a minute to refresh.
Okay.
All right, I'll see you soon.
All right, my man.
I talk to you soon now.
Yeah, he's cutting out a little bit. He's in, I think it's called Atten, over by Lancaster. So it's like down south. And I'm buffering. Am I buffering? Oh, it says I'm good. All my settings say I'm good. I think it's Aton, Aton. It's down by Lancaster, I guess south of Bakersfield in the foothills over there. And people say Bigfoot doesn't come out in the day. I've seen Bigfoot in the day a couple times now. Jeffrey's seen Bigfoot in the day. We've got video of him in the day 2 times. Video of him in the day. When we were at Thule Reservation, they were messing with us in the daytime. They come out in the day. They do come out in the day. So I don't know where everybody gets they don't come out in the day. Maybe it's because finding Bigfoot always goes out in the night. I don't know. But they do come out in the day. And one thing that a lot of people don't know is they run together. That, like, if there's one, there's another one not far away. And it could be kind of far away, like a quarter mile. But it'll be down in cover and not, it'll be hiding itself, but it will be watching the other one, and they will be communicating with each other. And, call me crazy, but I have a feeling they mind speak. And so you might not even hear them when they're communicating. They could be mind speaking. Like, I have so many reports of mind speak, it isn't even funny. And then when you go back into the Indian lore, they mind speak. They read the tribal members' minds. They know what they're thinking. And that might be one of the ways that they keep from being caught or seen. In fact, I was thinking when Dean saw, in the first part of his video, he was saying, something told me to look. Maybe that might not be very far off, because I think they let you see them. I don't think they just let anybody see them. So it really it could have like suggested or gave him the feeling that he should look. And I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with me. They think they're flesh and blood and all that. And I know I used to be the same way. I believe the same thing. But I've been at this 30 years, and I've been following them and tracking them and taking stories from people, interviewing people up and down California. And the more that I follow them and the more I research and the more I fool around, I find out that they have more than just flesh and blood abilities. I've seen them run up a hill and it looked like they were going up an elevator, and I couldn't explain it. In the middle of the night, they were charging us, and then they ran away. We turned on some spotlights and they ran away, and you could hear them running, smashing through like elephants, and they're running, and they ran several hundred yards. The next day, and I mean, they did it in seconds. I mean, you could count, like, if you started counting 1, 2, 3, by the time you counted to 18, they were way over there, like half a mile away. You could still hear them, but they were far. Then in the day, we went over there and we couldn't even walk through where they ran through. It would have took us hours to just walk through the area that they were smashing through in seconds. And I don't know how they do it. I don't even have an answer. I don't even have a clue. The only thing I could think of is they have some ability that we don't have. And the more, what's really weird is you think you get them figured out, and you're like, oh man, I got this, I know now, I figured them out. And then all of a sudden, they do something that smashes your paradigm. You don't have them figured out like you think you have them figured out. And to me, it's like, oh man, I don't try and figure them out anymore. And I don't try to say I know exactly anything anymore, because I don't know, and I don't know how they do it. And I believe there's probably a lot more. Hey, Dean.
Hello, is it Alan?
Yes, sir.
All right.
That sounds way better.
All right, awesome. So, I think I left off, still hearing back, but I'm going to step. I left off, telling you my family.
Oh, you're still kind of cutting out.
Yeah, okay. Let's try one more thing. I'm on LT right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna try switching over to Wi-Fi thing.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be just.
Yeah, so I quit trying to figure them out, and I know they have a lot more abilities. They must have, because the more I track them, I mean, me and Jeffrey go out there in the night, and some things we figured out, like we figured out how to elicit responses from them. We figured out that they like to traverse green areas. They like animals. They like to eat animals. They're fast. They're very big, strong. They're amazing creatures. That what I call the forest ninja. Now you see them, now you don't, and they move very, very quickly and very gracefully gone before you even know what happened, and you don't see them again. Even when there's places where there would be tracks, we don't find tracks. And it's kind of frustrating. I've even tracked them where I found tracks and tracked them several hundred yards to an area where there was nothing for them to hide, nowhere for them to jump on a rock or anything, to no way they could have backtracked their track, but their tracks ended in the middle of the open where they couldn't have ended, and they have ended. And I don't know, I can't explain. I didn't see how they ended, so I don't know what they did. You know, I don't know if they cloaked. I don't know if they got beamed up by the Star Trek. I have no idea, you know, what happened. All I know, it's the weirdest thing, and I've come across that twice now, which is amazing.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, so now try something.
Yep, you're still breaking up. Yep.
I'm gonna try the Apple Watch too.
Do you have a home phone? They might work. It might work better.
I do not. I don't think. Hold on. It's actually good to have one of those wired ones. Wire battery.
Yeah, I have one at my house because my mom, she likes it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have one. But she likes to have. She doesn't have a cell phone, and she won't. But you know, she has a tablet though.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you're sounding better though.
Okay, that is. I switched over to the Apple Watch. So what we can do here in my Echo Stick, I try to just blurt out what I'm going to say, and we'll see if this is possible. Okay.
Okay.
It's a little bit easier on the watch. I can turn so tiny.
Sometimes you can try like calling me on Skype, or not Skype, Messenger. You know,
yeah. I mean,
go into my Messenger.
You want to try to call me through Messenger?
You want me to try that?
Yeah, I've never ever done how that works.
Okay, let's do that. We'll hang up and I'll try on Messenger.
Does it take data? Should I be connected to Wi-Fi?
Yeah, you have to be on Wi-Fi.
Okay, we can definitely try.
Okay. Yeah, because you're breaking up pretty bad.
Yeah, my bad.
That's no problem, man. No problem at all. Let's let's hang up right now, and I'll give you a shot on Messenger.
Sounds good. Sorry, guys.
Okay, let's do the Messenger thing. I should have them. It might be louder on this one. Yep. Hey, Cold Warrior. What's up? Hi, Ellie, or L, and Paul V. How are you guys? Hey, Odie and Winter. Hey, what's up, Cryptid? Oh, I guess it didn't work. Should I ring him one more time? Should I try him again? Hey, Javier, what's up, my man? Yeah, I thought it was you. I got your emails, by the way, of the tree breaks. Looks pretty good, man. Okay. Here we go. Wow, you just got the notification. 34 minutes. Not bad.
Hello, Alan.
Hey, wow, sounds really good, man.
Sounds a lot better?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know what is up with that. Anywho. My bad. Okay,
No.
so good, right?
Yeah, you sounding great.
Awesome. Okay. So I believe that I left off at telling you that my family lives up there. Acton's not a huge town. It's pretty much like ranch town. Farmers live there. Not much like farmland, but more like ranch owners with horses and etc.
Well, it's kind of
Which-
like, isn't it like kind of in the foothills, right? It's not really in the mountains.
Yeah, it's not really. I mean, there's mountains surrounding it. It's kind of like the basin of a mountain stretch. To put it on a map, for example, for people who either don't know how to use a map or have no clue where I'm talking about, it's probably like 15 minutes south from Palmdale.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking Lancaster, somewhere over by there or something like that.
Yeah, Lancaster's probably like 25 minutes
Oh, okay.
more swinging north. To give you some perspective where we're talking about, pretty much if you were to traverse the mountains, you would have about, I believe, 20 miles difference from Castaic, California, if you were to just cross over the mountaintops.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I'm saying that because I'm going to bring up a point that I don't think that the case was ever solved, but I'll mention that now as well. But my mom actually used to live up in Castaic, and basically our entire town is pretty safe. Like, we don't have very much crime here, and when we do, it's something that's just completely out of the ordinary. But yeah, there was this kid, I believe his name was Bryce. He forgot his full, but he actually had gone missing up in Castaic, California. I want to say back in like 2015.
Oh, wow.
And it's just a scary, scary case. And last I heard, no one ever figured what in the bloody hell happened. Forgot what kind of car they said he was driving, but he basically was, he wasn't from around. He was driving home from school, I believe, all the way back up north, and he just so happened to stop in Castaic and pull over his car. And then that's where he was contacted. So they found, and I think this was on Castaic Road or Lake Hugh Road, next to Castaic Lake, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Found his car tipped down a ravine, completely destroyed, and there was no sign of him, but there was a broken back window with his blood on it.
Whoa.
And there's no sign of him. They sent lake divers to search for his body. He's not in the lake. They searched everywhere, and they had it up on a big billboard, probably like 6 months after this happened.
Wow.
It was just like the missing 411 case, and that's Castaic is kind of near the national forest.
Right.
So, in my opinion, that kind of ties in.
Oh, yeah. You know, a lot of people don't believe that they are down there, but I have a lot of friends down there that are finding prints. And in fact, if you go further south to San Diego area and the border, they're called Zoobies over there.
Oh. Never heard of that.
Yeah, and they run in clans. That's what I put that on a post for you. You know, that they run in groups, and even though you might only see one, it doesn't mean there isn't, you know, some in the general area, you know,
Right.
keeping tabs of each other. And
Right.
so, you know, and then people say, hey, just go shoot one. Yeah, well, while you're messing with the other one, the one you shot, you better be having eyes in the back of your head, because there's going to be some more coming, you know, and then
Right.
you'll be the missing 411, you know?
Right. So that happened a couple of years ago, and I find Bigfoot stuff intriguing. Like, my buddy and I would take my Toyota Tacoma up in the mountains and basically make videos just hoping to see something. We've done that before.
Right.
That was back 2015 and below, when I used to have a 4-wheel drive. It was fun. We used to make YouTube videos. We probably got about 3 views per video.
Cool. That's a start.
It was more for fun and just kind of like documenting like our time together. And just in case something were to pop out, there we are. We never saw anything. We saw like deer, we saw bunnies, we saw all sorts of wildlife. We had a blast. It was great.
Cool.
And people have gotten a lot of questioning saying, hey, isn't it strange that he opened up a Facebook group called Tracking Bigfoot just for this purpose, just to go show his video? And I said, well, yeah, I could see that. I could see why people are questioning it. But they may not also realize that I'm the administrator of like 7 other groups.
Oh,
6
cool.
other
Wow.
groups. So I administrate over 15,000 people at this time.
Wow.
So I'm busy, always online. My wife hates my guts because I'm always online, and she's always like, "You're glued to your phone." But yeah, it is a passion in life. I think it's very, very intriguing to me. I've never ever seen anything like what I saw, and ironically, it happens when you least expect it, right?
Well, I have a theory. In the video, you say it's like something told me to look. And
Yeah.
I've done research on him for 30 years, and I know a lot of tribal members. I worked at a casino for a long time. My wife's Indian and I'm Indian, and I've researched several tribes, the Bigfoot wars, all this stuff. And I come to find out that they mind speak. So they could have, and they don't let their self be seen just willy-nilly. So it might have wanted you to see it. And in fact, there's times like I have a video on my YouTube where one of my friends was videotaping one 1,000 yards out. As soon as the camera came on and was on him, he froze like a log. And he was 1,000 yards away with his back to us. And it was like, how does he know? And he wouldn't move. He absolutely wouldn't move. And finally, we thought, well, we'll get closer. And as soon as we got out, broke eye contact, or, where we could see him, and went around a bush and came back out, he was gone. And it's like, how did he know we went around the bush? He wasn't looking at us, right? He wasn't. Wow. And that's happened so many times, I can't even count how many times that they've done that. And sometimes you get the camera out and you're looking at them. Soon as the camera comes out, they sit down in the brush. And you can see them with your eye, but the camera can't see them that good. And they won't move. They freeze. And they'll sit there for as long as you do. They'll run your battery down. And people's like, well, why didn't you keep the camera on until they got up? Well, they're not going to get up. They're not going to get up until you break eye contact. As soon as you do, then they're gone. They disappear.
So it's like the 2-slit test on quantum mechanics,
right?
Quantum science and how it works. So it's like the universe knows that it's being watched.
I would say so, something like that.
So, I mean, on that note, I'm Christian.
Me too.
Very much Jesus. I believe the whole 9 yards of Christianity. I believe it's 100% true.
Me too. And in fact, we talk about it on here, and we pray for each other on this channel, and all of it.
So, on that note, with having me said that, if that is the case, and this is what most of the accounts are, that's kind of scary. Not really scary because, I mean, from what you and I believe, we're protected by the blood of Christ.
Right.
Scary in the sense that it may not be what we actually think it is.
Yeah, that and aliens. I've come to think they're both from the same ilk.
Right. So part of me, I'm kind of 50-50 because we live in a big world.
Mm-hmm.
And for part of me thinks, yeah, it's interdimensional because we haven't found a body. And like you said, they squat and they avoid cameras. So part of me thinks that, but then the other think, well, maybe it is just an animal like Gigantopithecus that we just haven't truly found, that we think is extinct and really not.
Right. Well, they've done some things in my time that, like, we started putting game cameras where where we go and interact with them all the time, and we started putting game cameras and putting things that we found that they liked, like apples, and the apples would disappear, but the camera would malfunction. We could see the apples, see the apples, see the apples, and then all of a sudden the camera malfunctions, and then the apples are gone. But the stickers that were on the apples, they're all piled up in the pile where the apples were.
And then we get called hoaxers because of that.
Right. Well, then we put other cameras, 3 cameras aiming all at the same place, and then all 3 cameras malfunction at the same time. And then the apples are gone, and the little stickers are in the pile, and then they start working again after that, right? They don't break; they just malfunction for 7 or 8 pictures, and then the apples are gone, and then the cameras work again. And I mean, like, so how do you explain that? I can't explain it. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
That sounds something demonic.
Yeah. Or quantum physics, like what you're talking about, able to use the other realms that we can't use. I believe we're created to, but we don't have ability at the moment.
Yeah, my personal take on everything. I've taken many science classes. I actually graduated nursing school with honors.
Cool. Oh, congrats.
Thank you very much. And that's actually what I was doing before when you messaged Facebook. I was studying.
Cool.
I had to take the big boards. But basically, where was I going with that? I've taken a lot of science classes. Science intrigues me. Any kind of science, realistically. I love biology. Throughout all of my science courses, and I don't want to basically get completely off topic here, but I would place myself as I don't want to be a pantheist, because theism is, they believe it's like an older Chinese belief, Asian belief, but they basically believe that God is everything and you should worship everything.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I agree that God is everything, because without God you would have nothing.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know how I see it? God does things outside of creation, right? He does things outside of creation, but everything that they worship is inside creation. They only can do things and manipulate what's already created.
Exactly. Yeah. And basically, when you study the first law of thermodynamics, it states that it's all about energy. Mm-hmm. So it states that basically energy cannot be created, nor can it be destroyed. It can only be transferred from one form of energy to another form of energy. An example, you don't create your gasoline that you pump inside your tank, but that gasoline can be converted into an explosion and mechanical energy to push your car down the road.
Right.
So that is exactly that. Basically, what is a fact is everything inside of the entire universe, down to little atoms, are energy. You have the proton, the neutron, and the electrons. So everything down to energy. So if energy has no creation, no creator, and it cannot be destroyed, then in my opinion, everything that you see has God's signature on it.
Yep, that's right. I agree.
So that's personal belief, but at the same time, me being a science geek, I tie that into the Bible. I don't discount the story of Jesus at all.
Neither do a lot of non-believers. They just can't explain it, and they just avoid the situation.
Yeah. How do we get talking about biblical stuff? I don't know, but basically, if you want, I'll go ahead and finish my story as far as the encounter goes.
Sure, man. You could even still talk about God. That's fine with me. But really, the Bigfoot one I am interested in. Like, what I was tripping on was when you said he ran down the hill faster, faster than humanly possible. That's the things that I'm beyond the biological part of him. Like, he went up the hill. I've seen him go up hills like an elevator and go back down like an elevator, like quick,
right,
and smooth and agile and the whole thing. And then you said he disappeared. And then it was just like what I've seen and encountered. They use a tree or something and they get it between you and them, and then they're gone. And you can't find them again. No matter how much you look, they're gone. No track, no anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Update from the last show that I did with Jeffrey. I went back up to my house out in front of the house. I didn't want to point the camera at the house and give everybody the address.
Right.
But that's why I kept the camera down. Just to show you that that's likely the same type of dirt. It felt like it looked like that's up on that hill, which is only about a couple miles away. Basically, I don't know if you've seen that one, but I stepped on the dirt with shoes, which are kind of like flat shoes, so I wouldn't expect them to leave an imprint. And then I also took off and walked on that dirt with just my socks on to show everybody, and I was stomping too, that type of dirt, it's like desert dry dirt. You're not really going to leave a track if you're barefoot.
Let's see now. What was that one called? Okay, I hiked up there. It was extremely difficult.
It's the one after that. It's a little bit newer. I just did that one, the sock one. I did that.
Oh, I see. You're holding a Coke can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me see. I'm going to roll that one real quick here.
Awesome.
Oh, let me turn the video up a little bit.
Show you something. This is only about a half mile. I'm not up the hill, so this is not a 100% comparison. I can do that later. But I just want to show you something. Okay. You can kind of see my little footprints, right? Now, let's do this. I'm not barefoot, but
Still
it kind of hurts because I'm being jabbed by rocks. Just want to show you that you're not really going to get any tracks that show up. I mean, there's like a little scuff mark from me walking, but there's no tracks in this gravel at all. It's a little bit tighter than what's up there on the hill, so I'll probably go up there again and try this. Again, I weigh 215 pounds. This is desert dirt. It's not muddy, so you're not going to leave like heavy footprints. But once again, let's do it again. I'm stomping too. Let's see what happened. Kind of on that one. A little bit. But for the most part, I mean, that's going to blow over and probably, I don't know, I went up there 5 days after I saw it. But that's not even, that's a pretty good one. But I would never have noticed that.
Hmm. 5 days. That's a long time though. 5 days.
It gets windy up there. Not horribly windy, and it did not rain in that time, so maybe. And if there was also another post where I went up there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of questionable prints, but nothing where I'm willing to risk my life on it.
Well, I'm going to tell you, we'll be in an area where we take the cameras and they malfunction and all that, and they'll be walking around us all night long, hooting like owls for 2 hours, and then all of a sudden turn into chimps and be throwing things at us. The next day you can't find a track anywhere. And for hours they went around and around us, and you can spend 2 days looking for tracks. You're not going to find them. I don't know how they don't leave a track, but they don't. When they want to, they do, but normally we don't find that many tracks. It's kind of weird.
which I mean, stories like that, and I listen to Coast a lot. I've heard a lot of different. I mean, you got your wackos that call no lie to that, and I have to turn it off sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too out there.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Well, me and Jeff, we've interviewed a lot of people. We even interviewed that 411 guy 3 times.
Politis?
Yeah.
Nice. I didn't know that. I'll send me the link on that. I really, really want to see that.
Well, he made me take all the videos down. We did 500 shows, over 500. And then when we split up, he made me take all of them down. So none of those are up. And I would like for him to let me put them all back up, but he wants to be everybody starting over. So we all started over fresh. You know,
Jeffrey does, or David?
Jeffrey.
Okay, gotcha.
You know, so he kind of is, he trademarked the Paranormal Central thing, so I can't put him up because it says Paranormal Central, you know, and so it's his wish. That's his wish. So 500 shows down, can't see him. Kind of sad.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean,
yeah.
Oh well.
But there are some good ones. Now I could do other things. I can share it like where I could turn it on private and I can share the link. You know what I mean? Share it to you to where only the person with the link can see it. I might be able to do something like that. Maybe I can swing one over on Messenger for you and let you see it.
That would be cool. I'm just curious to hear it. I would never ever share that, obviously.
Well, Jeffrey got the guy. He doesn't ever say Bigfoot done anything, right?
Right.
In all of his things. Well, Jeffrey got him to say it could be Bigfoot in some of them. And, you know, so Jeffrey was loving that, you know, that he got him to at least admit that. And then I was reading the first book and I got in there and my teacher was in it. One of my teachers from 7th grade was in there, 7th and 8th. And he disappeared. He actually disappeared the same year that I had the sighting and also the same area within 7 miles of where I saw my first Bigfoot. Same year. Wow. And only 7 miles. And then what was weird is he had a show a few weeks ago where this girl disappeared. And same area, same year again. And that tripped me out. And then he had an Asian on, I think the show before the one he did with you, where the girl, she didn't disappear, but she wound up out lost. Something called her away, you know, said, go this way, go this way. It was leading her away. When they found her, she had no clothes on. No shoes, no clothes. And so it was it's weird. And that's the same area again. The same area.
The missing 411 stories kind of brought my interest. I mean, the first time I saw Bigfoot was when I was like 5 years old and I saw the Patterson film on TV and it scared the crap out of me.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I believed it up until probably my early 20s, 31 now. But honestly, it was the missing 411 thing that really brought me back into it to say, wait a second, this is really happening?
Yeah.
This is interesting. Okay. But,
you know, and you get the ones where they say how come there's no stories, of people getting attacked by him or things like that? Well, normally if you get attacked, you're
Dead.
missing 411. And there's 100,000 of them guys,
Right. I just went. I think I mentioned this on the other podcast, but I have 5 older brothers. I'm the youngest.
Man, that's cool. I have 4 sisters and a brother.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I wish I don't know what it's like.
And I have 5 sons and a daughter.
Congrats. I actually have one on the way, my first one.
Sweet.
So,
right on. Congrats.
thank you. I don't know what it is. So anyway, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but in my family, we all kind of joke about like paranormal stuff. It's kind of like a topic that comes up, and like my brother, for example, will have like a Bigfoot doll in the garage. He has 1 or 2 of them, and it's it's something that we kind of laugh off. Basically, yeah, we just basically went back and forth today on a text message chain, and I was arguing with them because I said I have video. I wouldn't necessarily call it proof because I don't think that my video is proof. That it is very strange, but I wouldn't call it proof. Proof is a body.
Yeah.
Proof is deep. Like I said, I'm a science guy, so I'm not going to be arrogant and say my video is proof. It's not proof. It's very intriguing, very, very weird.
Mm-hmm.
It may not even be what I thought it was. It could be a black male dressed in all black who's 7 feet tall, who, I mean, is training to become a football player. I don't know. Or a football player.
I was joking it was Shaq on his workout.
Yeah, it could be Shaq. I don't know. Maybe that was Shaq that I saw. I have no idea. But that kind of narrows down things a little bit, point where now we're kind of limited. It's narrowing things down, so it's either that or it's actually Bigfoot. But
well, you can go. What you do, go out like dusk, and go over in that wash area or where the lake is. I think there's a lake over there by there somewhere, it might be dry right now. I don't know, but go over there and take a baseball bat, a wooden baseball bat with you, or a piece of 2x4, and right before dark, go out and whack that thing, whack a tree or something, or whack 2 2x4s together about 3 times. And if they're in the area, they'll respond to you, especially over there, because not a lot of people are banging on trees over there.
Right.
And almost every time that me and Jeff do that, they yell or they knock back or something. They'll start throwing things at us, little rocks and stuff like that.
Yeah, tree knocking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about it. I don't know if there's any. They have Joshua trees, but I don't think that's allowed in the state of California because I think it's the state tree.
Oh.
So the reason why I said black male, only reason why I said that is not because it's tall, but because you can't tell from the dark clothing that the individual was wearing. You can't tell the pigment change in the face or the arms or the hands or the feet. Nothing.
Right. Yeah, it's
So
all, what do you call it? The same everywhere.
It was the same everywhere. If you go back and look at the video, at the very, very beginning of the video, when the thing looks, I didn't notice this until probably like the 20th time rewatching it. But that thing looks back at me. In the very, very first video, like 7 seconds in approximately, whoever it was, turns around and looks back at me. And you can see right there that the face is ever so lighter pigment than the rest of the body.
Mm-hmm.
It was just weird.
Well, the one I saw was jet black, completely jet black, like a Labrador black. In fact, when the light shined on its coat, reflected the light. It was well groomed. The only place that you could see anything, it looked like a diving mask around its eyes.
Yeah.
And it was like a reddish orange around its eyes, but everything else was jet black, coal black. And
you're not mistaking that for one video that my brother did where he dressed in all black and went up, right?
no, I could tell that your brother was a man. He's too lanky and skinny. These things are not lanky and skinny ever. I never seen one. They were, if they sometimes in the waist and legs, they look like they got long legs, but then they look like they have a big giant coat. Like they're wearing a big puffy black coat.
Yeah.
And really it's muscles.
Yeah. That's what I got from it. There was one time, the closest that I got to it was when, let's see if I can do this properly. Picture a clock, okay? So if I saw it from the 6 o'clock position, in the mountain or the entire area is the entire clock, right? So go from the 6 o'clock position all the way to about the 11 o'clock, maybe position. I went that far around the mountain, the entire area. And basically by the time I got all the way to the very, very top, that's the videos where it's super, super tiny.
Right.
And when it came running back down, it basically came back down to the bottom base within 3 minutes, for sure. I did not have time to film a damn thing because it was just sprinting. But about 9 o'clock position, after driving my truck back, I paused a little bit and I looked up and I saw it running and it was just dark. That's all I could really see.
Wow.
Just dark, just right past the little break in the little brush. That was it. So I was like, is that the thing I just saw? And I'm still kind of wondering, still back on the other side, and I said, well, I don't think that anything else would be up there, so I'm just going to drive back to the base and wait. By the time I drove my truck back, going about 25 miles an hour, because it's a residential, it was already back, basically coming down the very, very first hill, and it just ran down the first hill and down at that little gully, and it was gone. Yeah,
and who runs down a hill? Nobody, because you'll fall, you slip and kill yourself. They can though. It looked like an elevator, like as fast as an elevator. They just go right down, man. Amazingly, even straight up and down sometimes. It's amazing. Right, now to clarify to your viewers, basically, I thought the thing just disappeared, but that is not true, because I didn't know when I first saw it that at the base of the very, very first video that you see, at the base of that little walkway right there, there is a wash, and it's about roughly maybe 300 feet across, wide. Wow, okay. Pretty deep, the point where when you're standing in it, you can't see anything except like the big ass hill either behind you or in front of you. You can't see the road at all. So if it was like 7-8 feet, you wouldn't be able to be seen down there. Oh, and they'll duck down anyways. If they know that, then they'll lower their, they'll like scrunch down and run still. I mean, they're really smart. These guys are ninjas, man. I'm telling you. The more you go out there and mess with them, or try to find them and look for them and stuff like that, I think that you have a good chance of seeing him again because he let you see him. And there was a reason for that, and I don't know what their reason is, but usually if you're a person that sees one, you can see him again for some. I mean, it's worked for me and some other people I know. And then there's people that's been with us, and I'll see them again, and they won't see nothing. And over and over and over, and be right there too. And they won't see nothing, but you will. And you'll start seeing the other thing, the abnormality that, you know, they break, the, you know, the boundaries of what we have. They start doing things beyond what, you know, people can do. And
that's got to be demonic. There's or interdimensional of some kind, but or a Nephilim.
Yeah, well, that's all related.
But yeah, so in the instance that I were to see it again, you can bet that I'll be taking my little iPhone SE and running up that hill. I don't want to, really, because I don't know what it is. But if I could get within about 25 feet of it and film it and run back down the hill quickly without falling.
Well, you know they have a FLIR for the iPhone. It's like $240 or something like that, and it doesn't give off a beam. They see the IR. They can see IR. So if you try IR cameras or anything like that, it won't work. But only they can't see FLIR because FLIR picks up heat sense, and so we've got video of them with the FLIR, but only we didn't have it recording because we weren't ready. You know what I mean? We were looking with the FLIR, and there they go. You know, and it was happened so fast that you didn't have time to hit the record button. But everybody saw it run across, run across the screen, but we didn't get it recorded. And you can't run around with it on record. It just wipes out the battery too fast. But you'll get a shot at it, like you'll be able to see it with the FLIR. But if you go with an infrared camera, you won't see it. They go, like we had one where we had a really good infrared camera, and then we got like a spotlight of infrared spotlight, and they came in really close, and they were really close, and we turned on the camera, and then as soon as we turned the spotlight on, the IR, where we couldn't see the light, they can though, they went right to the edge of where we could see with the spotlight, and then they were banging around and breaking, doing stuff out there and stomping and breaking things, and we couldn't see them still because they got just outside of the light. As soon as we turned it off, they came right back in close again. And
wow.
Yeah, it's amazing what they can do, and it's kind of fun. And I was thinking, oh man, he's hooked. Like when I was reading all the stuff on the group that you have, all the posts, and I like, oh, he's hooked. He saw it. He's hooked.
Actually, because I was about to just film it, post it, and be done with it, but he's like, no, let's go back up there. Like, I watched the video. That's crazy. I'll go up there dressed in black, and he has an electric. We were joking about this because we both have electric bicycles.
Oh, cool.
They're cool, and by the way, if you build them yourself, you save a lot of money. So about $1,500 is what one would cost if you were to build it yourself. Oh. But if you're going to go buy one, they're $7,000 or more.
Wow. See, and I walk with a cane, so it would be great for me. And they're quiet. You could sneak right up on them.
They're cool, but he was like, one of the videos it shows his e-bike that he built, and he has a motor in the front wheel and the rear wheel, and one battery. So he's all happy about he's like, can you give me a shout out, my e-bike?
Oh, like,
cool. Hey, man. All right. Anyway, he'll be laughing at this video later, but
well, it'll be on YouTube on the Squatch Zone. They can watch it later, and you'll be able to read the chat as you watch it. So you'll be able to see what everybody says. I keep everything up there. People can comment even afterwards and like it or dislike it or whatever.
We make fun of each other because we both build the bikes differently. But anyway, so where was I going with that? Yeah, he was the one who basically kept the thing going. I just created the group and I wanted to post that initial video, and then he said, "No, let's do more. Why not? This is crazy. Like, you don't know what you saw, so let's do more." Like,
Wow.
all right.
Man, I wish I lived closer. I would be over there with you guys. I'd go out there. I mean, it's by the road. I won't hike up the hills, but I have binoculars and cameras and everything. I could stay by the road and I know what to look for. A lot of times. It's just think animal, like the deer, like if there's deer migrations, find out what the deer migration is and get in the middle of the deer migration route and in the times that they're moving, early in the morning and late in the evening is the best time where there's light, where you can video, because they'll still be out a little bit after the sun comes up. And usually some stay out all day. And I was telling that a lot of people think they only come out at night, but they don't. They're out all the time, and they're hungry, and I don't know why, but they're coming in closer to residential areas and farms and stuff like that. Maybe for the food, I think.
Food and water.
Yeah. But it used to be we drove 3 hours and went way in the back country to find them. Now we'd only have to drive, just over to the foothills, and they're there.
The only other closest thing that I could possibly compare this to, and this honestly, it's scary because I don't know what it was, but it was probably a bear. When I was 10 years old, could have been, I was 11 years old. But I was 10 years old when I watched my dad pass away from a type 2 diabetic MI.
Aw.
So
sorry.
Thank you. It's the classic heart attack, but because he was a type 2 diabetic, he didn't have the chest pain, the typical chest pain. And this is great for everybody listening to know. He didn't have the typical chest pain, so he complained of an indigestion type pain, and we didn't know that that was a sign. But he had all the other symptoms. He was short of breath, he was diaphoretic, which basically just means like a sweaty, sticky, cold, clammy skin. He was complaining of tingling hands and feet. He basically collapsed after 30 minutes.
Oh, man.
And I'll tell you something crazy, which is the reason why I'm Christian today. But we keep going back to that topic. So basically, I watched that happen. It was about 30 minutes. That's textbook right there. I became an EMT back in 2011. And basically because I just wanted to know what my died from. So when I was going through my EMT textbooks, it's textbook. It lasted 30 minutes. He had all these different symptoms. That's exactly what he died from. So after about 30 minutes of like complaining of chest pain, his eyes rolled up in the back of his head. He went limp. He went into what professionals call the death rattle, which is where the air is leaving your body. And it makes, the best way I can describe it is loud, constant electric snore. It's exactly as what I just described. And all it is basically your airways are quivering as the residual air volume lungs. And constant snore on exit. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Not on inspiration, but on exit. I can't describe it better than that. But basically, by by the time that stopped, so that he had stopped making noise on the couch, which 30 seconds to a minute roughly, I ran and got the phone, called 911, handed it over to my grandma because I was 10 years old at the time when he died. This happened 1997 on September 13th.
Wow.
So I was young. I didn't know anything about anything in life. I was actually even homeschooled. So I handed her the phone, and she was talking to the dispatcher. My mom was on top of my dad's body on the couch, slapping his face left and right, lifeless. Pounding on his chest. We could not do CPR because he was on a squishy couch. So we needed to get his body off of that couch onto the hard floor so we could resume and do CPR. About 30 seconds to a minute later of all that I just described, he sits up on the couch, and while he's doing that, he asks for air. He sits up on the couch and he swings his arms over his knees like he's in the just a sitting position, like he's leaning over on the couch. And I'm 10 years old at the time, so I'm looking at him kind of eye level, and I'm looking at him. He's even paying attention to me, but he looks so happy, so calm, so incredible, just at peace, but kind of excited at the same time. And he looks around the room, again, ignoring all of us, because I my dad, and whenever he was excited, he would basically it was like the greatest thing in the world whenever he was excited about something. So he's looking around the room with that face on him. He's just happy. And he's looking around and he says, "I'm back." And then his eyes rolled back up in his head and he fell forward in the prone position, which is where you have your ass up. Hard enough into my grandma's blue chair that he launched the chair to the side of the wall and did damage. And he was literally just dead in the prone position with his neck. He could have probably broken one of the cervical bones. I don't know. But I pulled him back, head bounced off the floor. I started CPR. The best that I knew CPR, which was nothing.
Right, yeah. 10, yeah.
And then, yeah, that's how the night moved on. Basically, it was weird that he said, "I'm back." And that to me, he was Christian. That to me was a signal that either he went somewhere or he saw something that I was not aware of, or came out of his body or something. That I knew my dad. That's what I got from it. Like, it was a direct one-on-one message.
Wow.
So his dad actually died at 56 years. My dad was 51, by the way. His dad died when he was like 21, 22 years old. And that was back in the 70s. And he died, ironically, in the heartburn aisle of a grocery store down in Southern California.
Oh, man.
Same symptom. He died from the same exact thing, obviously, because he was down the heartburn aisle. So he was obviously reaching for heartburn.
Oh,
and
man.
same thing, collapsed in the aisle, and they found him at 56 years old. And when my dad heard about this, he had already had his oldest son, my oldest brother. And my dad told us that he was suicidal. And he was literally thinking about driving his Buick off of a bridge. But the only thing that stopped him was he wanted to know what his father knew. So basically, he said, "Okay, I'm not going to kill myself because I'm super depressed right now. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go out and buy the new Bible." We still have that. It's a little miniature-sized pocket Bible in black to make it discreet.
That's cool.
He highlighted. He basically, in the very, very front page, he said, we're going on a mission in life. I'm going on a mission, and I'm going to give this a try." And he basically started reading and reading and reading and reading and reading. How they fit in that little pocket Bible, I have no idea. but almost every single line inside of this little pocket Bible was highlighted. That's how hard he studied this.
Wow.
Very, very end, he signed it, quote unquote. We have pictures of it. I think it's on my personal Facebook profile, but said, "Thank you, Jesus, for dying for me. Thank you so much for my wonderful Christian parents. I know that I am saved. Hallelujah." Signed September 13th, 77.
Whoa.
He dies September 13th, 1997.
Wow.
Might have been 75, but 100% sure 13th. It was just another anomaly in our family's lives where we're just looking around the room like, really?
Yeah.
Like, we didn't have this little pocket Bible.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That is a cool story. I know
Thank you.
my dad died in he was 48 after his second triple bypass. Had his first one at 34.
Wow.
And that was like 1986, I think. So it's been a while. But I have a really weird story. Like all I won't tell you on the air, but it has a lot to do with God too. but there's some questions. They want to know if there's orchards around there, around the area.
Orchards around Acton?
Yeah.
There might be, because like I said, there's a lot of ranchers. They're mainly up there. It's exactly what it looks like in the photo. We have like little white picket fences around most of the properties. Regular homes. They're big home. There's a lot of dirt roads. A lot. So I haven't really been all the way back in those dirt roads, but every single home has like 1.5 to 2 acres of land.
Cool.
It's really, really cool up there. It's down here in Santa Clarita, where Magic Mountain area.
Right. Well,
you can get up like 115 degrees in the summer, right?
Yeah.
Up in Acton, it's always about 10 degrees cooler. So, I mean, in the hottest day, it would be about 105 up there. And it does snow in the winter up there. Not a lot, but it does.
So, what we found is they like oranges or citrus. And at first I thought they liked citrus because they like to eat citrus. But then after a few years, I'm realizing they like citrus because they don't lose the leaves. And they can disappear into the citrus and, play their ninja game in there. And they can't do that in the other types of trees. Even though in the summertime, when it's harvest time, we will have reports of them in the other trees, but I think they're eating, going in and it's in the middle of the night usually. And they usually pick really high off the top of the tree. So that's the people are like, who's doing that? They won't take everything though. They don't like strip the trees. They come through and get what's on at the top, or I guess face level with them. And they will be out of there by morning, out of the ones that they can't hide in. But in the citrus, they'll be in there all day. So look around. If there's citrus around there, any kind of citrus, it doesn't matter. They'll be in it. They like to hide in it.
I've heard that there's other foods that they like too, and I just realized that I never even finished my story. I went off on a tangent about my dad, that story. But if you recall, I was saying that I had a second type of encounter that I don't think was a real encounter, but could have been, I don't know. But when I was 10 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
At my grandma's house, we were living there because he had lost his job. He used to work for Lockheed, and he lost his job twice there, and he was looking for work, and I think he had like a $15 an hour, like compared to Lockheed wages, that was nothing.
Right. This is good back then, though.
It was And yeah, I think it was the equivalent of like 20 to 25 an hour, but nothing close to Lockheed wages. But basically, that's why we were there, to fill everybody in on that. So I was, I believe, 11 years old. After everything happened, we still didn't have enough money to move out. So I was traumatized living in that house because that's the house that he died in. I was afraid that I was going to see his ghost every night.
Ah.
My room, there's two different rooms next to that room. It was like the entertainment room. Two little bedrooms. That's where I would sleep. Literally 10 feet away from the room. So I was messed up for a good solid year until I needed to get out of there.
Right.
But I'm 100% sure I wasn't hallucinating on this. It was probably an animal, but it's just scary. Outside of one of the windows, one of those rooms, out in the front yard, it was like 2 or 3 a.m. I was homeschooled. Still to this day, I have a hard time going to bed at night. I hear growl. It sounded like a huge, heavy dog, maybe a bear, but just growling outside the window. And my mom is in the same room with me. Again, I was a sheltered little boy, but she's literally in the same room sleeping, and I'm like nudging her, and I'm like, wake up, wouldn't wake up. And I went on for 15, 20 minutes, just loud growl, like angry growling. And I'm like, oh my God, I was way too scared to get up and peek out through the little blinds and curtains. I don't know what that was. It was probably a bear.
Bears don't do that though. Like they don't really do that. I mean, I grew up in Yosemite, and there's lots of bears. And I mean, they'd get in the garbage cans and they'd sniff around a window, but they wouldn't. There was no reason for them to stand there and growl. That would be more like the Bigfoot. They do that. And in fact, they look in people's windows all the time. I get reports of that all the time in the areas where they're at. They like to be peeping Toms. And they have like access to a lot of windows over there. I was looking on Google Earth, and I thought, oh my God, in the night they have full access to the whole area. Just no sweat.
To put that on the map, where my grandma's house was, that was probably 15 minutes away from Acton.
Yeah, they're all around those hills right there. There's a river up there too, and they love rivers. They'll run up and down those rivers. That's a good place to go if you want to like look for them. Is the river, even if it's dry, it doesn't matter. It's cover, and they'll go up and down that thing, man. They'll use it like a highway. It's
we have the Santa Clarita, so we have the Santa Clara River that runs through our entire valley.
Right.
The wash, we call it. Never seen anything weird down there. Just a bunch of coyotes.
Yeah, and they'll run with coyotes. Sometimes this is just me. I think they have pets, and sometimes bears are pets. Sometimes a mountain lion is a pet, and a lot of times coyotes are pets. And they're probably the only thing that could have a pet like that and make it, behave, like that's not going to turn on them because they'll eat it. You know what I mean? Like they can smack a bear around. I'm sure of it. At least all the Bigfoots I saw, a bear would be no contest. Not as fast, not as big, not as strong. The whole thing. A bear would have no, especially down there. The bears are smaller even. There'd be no contest. Yeah, wow.
That would be interesting to watch.
Yeah, and the part about where you were saying that you couldn't wake your grandma up or whoever it was in there.
Yeah.
That's the Bigfoot too. Like how you felt like to look and see it walking on the side of the hill, it can, make people stay asleep. Weird, but they do. And just,
That's kind of how I felt. That's kind of how I felt it was. It sounded like the biggest dog you've ever heard, like a wolf, literally outside within probably 10 feet of the window, maybe less, just growling. And the next day I went outside to go look for like paw prints or anything. There was nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, well, there's dogmen too, and those are the worst. We didn't get a lot of reports around here, and lately in the last year, we've had like 5 reports of them, and they're 7 feet tall, real muscular. Only these things are more evil than a Bigfoot. A Bigfoot may leave you alone. They're more opportunistic. Like they wait until nobody's looking and stuff like that. Wolves are just to rip into everybody and kill everybody, that's there. They don't care. And they're really mean, man. I hope that's not running around where you guys are. They rip up little animals and leave no blood. That's the weird part.
Okay. On that note, well, there's a couple things that I've noted, and thank you to my brother once again for doing the comparison video. However, so the comparison video again, I said that my brother is 5'10", 185, 190 pounds from what I recall him telling me. Myself, just if I ever do any videos in the future of comparing my size, I am 5'11 3/4. And I weigh 215 pounds. But my point is, whatever it was, in some shots, most of the shots it's getting over and it has its legs bent.
Right.
It couldn't do an size comparison because it never really fully stands erect.
They never do. That's the funny thing. They never ever do.
There's that one scene at the very, very top of the hill, the one snapshot that I took where it's standing fully up.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have to keep balance up there. When my brother did the photo overlay,
mm-hmm.
It looks to be 7 feet at least in comparison when it snaps back and forth. That sucker was big.
Yeah.
And especially really, really, really wide. You really, really notice the girth, the width of this thing.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe it was a dog man. I don't know, because I've heard about those too.
Well, the dog man, you would be able to tell by the snout and the ears. Like the ears would be prominent on the top.
Right, yeah, that's true.
And a snout. So that one didn't have it. So I didn't think about that. But if you ever have any little animals like goats and smaller animals like that get killed and you find the body, there's no blood, and they only eat the organ meat. They leave everything else. So
my brother and I told my brother and his wife who live up there, and my mom actually stays with them because they have a huge house. So basically, I told him, I'm like, not to be like worrywart, but I would keep an eye on your little girls and your little kid. 2 girls and a boy.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because they have animals. I think they have a bunch of different goats, I believe, and they had several chickens. And this could have been a bobcat, maybe, but from the information that he told me, I don't know if bobcats are this strong, but the cage pen that they were inside, times now there's 2 chickens that have gone missing. So from what I understand, could be incorrect, but from what I recall him saying is that the pen, the little cage area, was smashed open enough to get to grab it and go.
Yeah, no, and bobcats aren't that big. Wow, that's a trip. That's trippy.
So that's the only information that I have. There's a bunch of other people on my Facebook group on Tracking Bigfoot who want to know other neighbors' accounts. So the day that I went up there, when I hiked it, I parked my truck on one of the little residential streets, and the neighbor was looking at, like, what is this guy doing?
Right.
So I flagged, really, really friendly, and I'm like, hey, man. And this guy sounded like a surfer dude, but he's like, hey, bro, what's going on? I told him, I'm like, have you ever seen anything up there on the mountain ridge? Anybody walking, anything like that? And he's like, no. And then he flagged down the other neighbor who was coming out to get his mail from the mailbox, and he asked him, he's like, hey, dude, I think we have Bigfoot here. So I asked him, I said, have you ever seen anything up there on that mountaintop? And he's like, no. Like, yeah, I did. So I'm going up there today. I just want to let you guys know why my truck is parked right where it's at.
Yeah, let him see the video on your phone.
Yeah, the surfer. I showed him, and he's like, "That's weird."
Yeah, man. If they go on your Facebook group and see the comparison, the size comparison, then they really will think weird. Because I mean, there's no doubt whatever it is way bigger than your brother. I mean, way bigger, twice as wide, easy. Especially in the hips and legs, man. That thing is massive. Oh, man.
My brother, the one that went up there, he was from experience. As I mentioned in the other podcast, we're not couch potatoes, but we're not super active. So yeah, I could climb up there. It's the trek back down on that was the brutal. To sprint that, it was impossible. There's no way I could do that. But anyway, he had brought up the point that if it was like a bigger person, like an obese person, they're not going to be able to make it up. It's really hard.
Well, they would have been taking breaks, and they wouldn't be going at the pace. Like I was showing it to some of my family, and they're like, it's moving pretty quick. Because now I raise my kids up in the hills, same type of foothills as what you live in, and raised all of them up there because the city was, I didn't want to raise my kids in the city. I just wanted to have more control over what they, know and do and stuff like that. Well, they know about climbing hills and stuff like that. And they were looking at that and they're saying, hey, there's no way that it could go from the bottom and the top without stopping. No way. Yeah. That's a steep hill. None of them could do it. And they're all young. They could run some of the way up, but they would have to stop and take breaks, even walking. They said that is a tough one. Even riding a bicycle, you can't go all the way. You'd have to stop. You would have to. And that's what blew them away without seeing the size comparison. And then when they seen the size comparison, then they're like, oh my God, that's like the one at Millerton Lake.
Right. This might help somebody to get an idea of how steep it is coming back down. And every single mountaintop, maybe one is not so steep, but 4 out of 5 of them are there. So, give you an idea on the steepest one. If you're on a mountain bike, let's say, for example, headed downwards, like back down the trail, to give people a point of reference, you would be falling over your handlebars. Easy.
Yeah, easy. It's almost straight up and down. That's what they were saying just by looking at it.
It's nuts what this thing did. And when I was sprinting back down, I'm 31. I mean, I'm not super old. I'm like, I don't know if that's middle age nowadays, but when I was running, I wasn't even running that fast. The top of my kneecap were killing me. Hear me say the videos, they hurt bad. I couldn't go any faster than that.
Man, you're lucky you didn't take a tumble, really, because
I almost 5 times.
It would be slippery and all kinds of stuff.
Almost fell 5 times. Coming back down the very, very final hill. That's by far the steep one, and that's the one that he goes up. It goes up at 2-3 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Just wrecking it like it's nothing.
Man. Well, you got some really good video and stuff, man. I mean, it's good, really good. There isn't a lot of people that has it for that long, except for the one that you guys were talking about, which it reminded me of also, was that Marble Mountain.
Yeah, it's ironic. I don't know if Jeffrey brought that up because he's on my Facebook page, but my brother initially brought that up a day or two before I went on the Paranormal Central one. But yeah, he showed me that. I watched that video like 4 or 5 times, and I'm telling you right now, I don't know if that's a hoax, because if I were those people and I saw that up on the mountain ridge, I'm not staying there.
Neither would I. Oh man, I'm scared all the time of them. I'm totally scared. I call 3-man sack lunches. When we go up, I'm always on edge. I mean, I've seen them do some amazing, scary things, and I don't want to be a missing 411. And then the joke is, all you have to do is outrun me. I'm the cane guy. I'm on a cane. So, you know, they're like, you're going to face plant and we're going to be running, man. Just outrun me and, you know, everybody's going to be okay. That's the big joke. But
2 other things to point out. My brother's wife pointed this out, and I went back. The same brother that went up the hill, his wife was watching that Marble Mountain one. If you look closely where they're showing the little fort in between the trees with all the broken twigs.
Yeah.
It looks like one of the twigs is held up with like an orange-colored twine.
I'll have to look.
I don't know. I mean, that doesn't explain what you're looking at up on the ridge. But I don't think that Bigfoot would have twine.
You never know.
You never know. Another thing that people brought up about my video is that the creature, the thing, was walking up on the trail, the walking trail. Okay, and I agree. That's something that a human would do. However, if you're a Bigfoot and you have half a brain, you're not going to be walking up through thorns and spurs and all these different things that are going to go inside your feet. And why would you do that when there's a perfectly good walking trail already?
Right. Well, you know, something that my kids pointed out was like it looked like it was wobbling like a little bit.
Lumbering walk.
Yeah. Well, the reason is they don't know, but when you track them, if you ever find tracks, they're like a tightrope walk. The tracks are like one in front of the other, like a tightrope. And could you imagine like traversing that hill and walking like a tightrope? It would make it look like that it was like wobbling when it walked, especially when it was doing hit that side on the side of the hill that you were on. It kind of at the top, it kind of went down this little trail, and that's where it was wobbling. Well, it's a little bit off balance, or not off balance, but the hill is steep right there, and then it has that tightrope walk.
Right.
And that would make it look like that it's, you know, walking weird. And if you ever track one, you'll wonder how in the world do they get them straight in a row like that? I mean, one after the other, straight in a row, 5 feet apart. And,
right.
And the one I tracked, the first one I saw, it ran, and the tracks were 12 feet apart, and it was blowing me away. Blew me away.
Oh man. I'd say the next thing that I want to do is I want to go back up there. I want to camp. I don't want to do that alone.
Right. I wouldn't.
for somebody to go with me. And also there's these ants up on the top. They're huge. They're big black ants, and they are like almost the length of a dime.
Wow.
They're big ants. So I don't really want to get bit by them. So I might spray some ant spray around the tent that I take,
Mm-hmm.
and then spray it underneath there. And then I don't know if the risk for cancer is a greater risk than getting bit by a bunch of huge monster ants.
Man.
But yeah, I want to go back up there, and I want to do exactly what I did in the other video where I stomped with bare feet.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see if what the likelihood of leaving tracks is. And again, I'm 215 pounds, 300 or above. It's not going to be a perfect comparison, but it'll be better than having it.
Yeah. Well, one time we were up riding horses, where I used to live at, and the horses started acting weird, and after a little while, my horse wouldn't even go. It just started trying to buck me off, and it was making me mad. Everybody else's was just, they were acting up, but they were behaving enough where they could still ride. But mine, wanted to like turn around and run. And if I made it go in the same direction as the other horses, it would start bucking, and it made me mad. And I had it going in a circle a few times, where I would just pull the nose around to my knee, and then we would go around and around, and usually that would straighten him up. But it wouldn't. So finally, I told everybody, I'm going to meet him back where we started at, and I got off the horse and started walking back, and I walked it because it wanted to be running and doing all kinds of stupid stuff, and the only way I could control it was if I was on the ground holding, where I could like smack its nose and stuff like that. Yeah. And I was watching the ground, and I realized that I could see Bigfoot tracks, and it dawned on me that maybe my horse is freaking out because there may be a Bigfoot in the area, because I was seeing the barefoot tracks in a single line. And what really blew me away was our horse's tracks were going in the same direction as the Bigfoot tracks. Now, a horse I know weighs, 1,100 pounds. My horse is like 1,100 or 1,200 pounds. And the Bigfoot tracks actually were sinking deeper in the dirt than the horse. And that blew me away. I mean, I was glad I wasn't following it anymore. I'm glad that the horse didn't want to go, and I walked back. And then I asked everybody that they got a certain distance away. They said maybe, 500 more feet, and they had to turn around as well because the horses refused to go any further. And, their horse just stopped and didn't buck or anything. Mine had a little more spirit, but oh man. But when I seen that the horses, and then you do the calculation, because I'm the science guy too, like, okay, the horse is on 4 feet, so that's distributing the weight. This is on 2 feet, but you still can't make any comparison really, but it still was sinking deeper than the horse, And then I'm looking at my track isn't even hardly making a dent, like you can't even see mine. I thought, oh man, whatever it is big. And I'm glad I'm going the other way.
Yeah, wow. That's
yeah. And I don't know how big they get over there. I heard they like to play games over there though. Like in your area, look up Zoobies.
Zoobies.
Yeah.
It sounds like some type of child toy.
Yeah, look that up though. There's a lot of stories about them. And also there's a lot of them seen around Edwards Air Force Base and all around over there. And so look in those stories over there, and you'll find a lot of stuff there around there. And it'll help you too. It'll help you to figure out where they hang and what they do and all that.
I definitely will. Zoobies. So whenever I hear, like I said, coast to coast shows like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I hear these people call in, personally, I can tell when somebody is either on drugs, or they're not all there in the head, or they're just looking for fame, looking to make a name for themselves, something like that, right?
Right.
You can generally tell. Not everybody, but you can generally tell. So I'm thinking now, for those out there that are listening to this, how can I best prove that, like, I'm being for real? I don't think there's a direct way of doing that.
No.
But the things that I mentioned tonight, that's really honestly the weird things that have happened in the 31 years of me being here. My brothers have seen some weird stuff, not Bigfoot stuff, but some weird stuff. And I was actually going over a text argument with them today because they're still kind of laughing this off. It's just a big person walking up the hill. And I said, well,
you're gonna get it. You're gonna get that, and be ready on your group, because there's gonna be some that are just flat gonna be trollish, about it.
And I do but I mean, there's so many different people like blowing up my phone. There's been people questioning it, people agree, or people agreeing, questioning, which that's good. But basically, I mean, I'll try and do my best. I have a lot of study to take this test. That I have a kid coming, so I really can't be focusing on that.
Right. Well, winter's coming, so it'll be easier. It won't be so hot. Maybe the ground might be softer, on certain days.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of the best way to get people to understand just the way that I see it and the way that I think about it. I mean, I'm not 100% sure it is what a Bigfoot or whatever it is.
Right.
There's actually more statistical odds, that notion, saying that it's probably a person. I understand that. It's just, like I said, it's extremely weird. I don't know what I saw. I can do my best to answer any detailed question. Something that maybe I haven't thought of already. Something to go up there and try, like the footprint thing.
Well, one of the things that you did that is the most important thing. In fact, Jeffrey, before I even heard about this video and Jeffrey messaged me and told me, hey man, Sunday road trip. And I was thinking, road trip. And he goes, yeah, there's a video of a Bigfoot going up a hill. And he goes, and I'll go up the hill, but I need you to come along and be the camera guy. And we need to do a comparison, and right. I was like, oh, okay. He goes, Sunday. I'm like, all right. And then a little while later, he messaged me back and said, hey, forget it. They already did it. And I was like, cool. Not very many people think to do that. And especially the way you guys did it, where you stood in the same spot, you used the same phone, the same kind of zoom, everything where everything could match up like that. Now that is really good evidence right there. That's hard to, I mean, you have to admit whoever or whatever it is bigger than your brother. Way bigger. A lot bigger.
You can thank my brother for that.
That was brilliant, because a lot of people don't do that. But since me and Jeff do this all the time, that's one of the first things we do it like right away. We'll even do it at the same time of the day. You know what I mean? So the shadows, everything is all the same. And it really makes it hard for people to say something against it.
That's an idea said right there, because it was a different time of day that we actually went up there.
Yeah, if you do it at the same time of day, the shadows are the same, everything's the same, and you use the same camera, the same zoom, stand in the same spot, everything, and it's really hard to argue that at least that it is a human, or not. It's not bigger than your brother. It's bigger, you know. It's way bigger. You know, now all they need is a size comparison of your brother. Have them stand by something that they can take a size comparison to, you know, and then they're like, whoa, they can see how big he is, you know, to something. And that right there proves his size. And then the size comparison proves, hey, that thing's big.
I told, again, I wasn't trying to tell, wasn't trying to like scare my little nieces and nephew. Well, the little nephew's young, but the nieces, they're a little bit older, and I just kind of want them to be aware.
Yes.
Around. I don't want to scare them. But I was talking to my brother about it. They kind of overheard, and I'm like, just go away a little bit. So I told him, and I told his wife, and his wife, my sister-in-law, I believe that's it. But I told her, and she blew it off, and she said, there's a homeless guy lives up here, and he dresses in all black, and he wears a poncho, and
he's 7 foot tall.
Yeah, I'm gonna start looking for that guy now around Acton, because I don't think he's 7 feet tall, and also you don't see a poncho inside of the video.
No.
Pictures. And on top of that, if it's a homeless person, for example,
he didn't walk all the way up that hill without taking a break.
No, because they're limited on water.
Mm-hmm.
They're limited on food.
And they usually smoke and all that other stuff.
Unfortunately, many homeless people will be found on drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are on any of that, I'm telling you, there's no way you can do that.
Right. Well, you did a good job, man. I think it's great. It's excellent. You know, I mean, what more could I have some stuff like you could go have your brother look on my. It's not my videos. It's our team. We have where it roared at us. We have 2 videos. One where it sat down. It looks like it has a baby. We thought it had a baby. It's hard to tell in the video. It's only a few seconds only, because we already know that it's not going to get up and move, but it's a good few seconds, you know. And then there's another one standing by a boulder, and we didn't do size comparisons or anything. There is one on Jeff's website, or his I think it's on his website, paranormalcentral.net, where he does a size comparison of one that's like 15 feet tall.
Oh God.
And yeah, I mean, that it's interesting. I mean, go and look at all that stuff and listen to it, and you'll see. I mean, it didn't get us anywhere. You know, we even had DNA and had it tested, and it came back human the first time. So they said that we tainted it. So then we took everybody's DNA that was there, and what was really weird is the guy that collected the DNA is a 17 or 18-year veteran crime scene investigator.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a hit on him, you know, that he didn't do it right. But we went ahead and gave our DNA, and then they retested it a little bit deeper. And it came out human again, only this time there was a small percentage of unknown, like I can't remember what the term they used, but they don't have that. There's not one that matches the complete DNA sequence, but it matched almost the human completely. And then it didn't match any of our DNAs. So we didn't tank the DNA, and we didn't have the money to go any further after that. They wanted like $13,000 or something like that to go
That's
deeper. Insane. And we thought that was far enough anyways. You know, if you don't have it, if it isn't documented, or they don't have the DNA to match it or compare it to, then what was the point? You know, it already was showing that it wasn't going to be anything they knew of, with the little part that wasn't matching.
Wow. I don't know. I mean, that's DNA's a hard thing to work with.
Yeah. It came off the windows. You can see that one on Monsters and Mysteries in America.
That's a great show. I don't think it's on TV anymore, right?
I don't know. I know the reruns are, because every once in a while I'll go to Walmart or something like that, and everybody's watching me, and then I realized that weekend was rerun week.
I mean, I've seen a lot of those. I love shows like that. It is, like I said, so I don't know if Jeffrey got it right in saying that I'm like not I don't know a lot about Sasquatch and things like. I do know a lot about it, but as far as being like people from the BFR, probably not that much.
Right.
I just intrigues. Probably out of 6 brothers, we all talk about it, and probably 4 would actually like. I would be willing to go put a Bigfoot sticker on my car. That's about as far as I listen to a lot of different documentaries. It doesn't scare me. I'll listen to those documentaries going to sleep. To me, it's science.
Right.
So nothing about it. I mean, if I was in a tent up the hill and something approached me, that was. But the actual concept of it, no, I kind of see it more of like a science project.
Right.
You're saying?
That's how I see it too, and fun. It gets me out of the house, and and I get to do a bunch of fun stuff, and sometimes it get the scared out of me. And that's fun too sometimes.
On an e-bike, by the way, I actually on my last e-bike I went 3,600 miles on it.
Wow.
Lost 20. So a lot of people make fun of those, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll say, cheating, you're not getting exercise. And no, yeah, you are. Because if you went with like a 3,000 watt or above, maybe 2,000 watt or above, yeah, you're cheating and you're not getting any exercise. But if you go with like a 750, maybe 1,500 watt one, you're still getting exercise, but you can just use it in lieu of your vehicle. So, for example, if you're going up a hill, that motor is only going to push you 20 miles an hour. Want to get somewhere fast, you got to pedal.
Right.
So to go like 35 miles an hour up a hill, you put in some work. I literally 14 months, I lost 20 pounds, and put 3,600 miles. And then the frame broke before everything else broke.
Wow.
From going off curbs, and it was an aluminum frame. But anyway, back on topic.
I'm gonna stay in touch with you on the e-bike thing, because I've been actually looking to buy one. They're way out of my price range, but maybe building one. I have a power chair. I used to be in a wheelchair, and I have a power chair. I could maybe use the motors off it. And
they sell the kits. You gotta buy it from a reputable place, which is very, very hard. For example, just bought a $359 battery.
Mm-hmm.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
If you buy it assembled, right? I just bought it off of Amazon, and I was not careful. By the time it arrived 2 weeks later, the battery went bad within 50 miles of riding.
Oh, man.
Contacted Amazon. They said, nope, sorry, it's not it's not us that's selling it. It's one of our people that are under us. So I have to contact them directly. So I tried to contact them. No luck.
Right.
So I was out $359.
Man, I have a guy that's right down the street from me that repairs my chair, my power chair. I haven't taken it to him in a while because I'm trying not to use it. But I bet he could get all that stuff for me pretty cheap. And I'm gonna look into it. And I'll be staying in touch with you so I could like figure out how that works. Cause I want to trail with everyone, go on trail, and I'm looking at it as not pedaling so much, but I'll walk. You know what I mean? And I don't care if it goes faster than 3 or 4 miles an hour. Because I just want to go on the trail with everybody on hikes and be able to go with them. And I'll just use it like to power me up the hill, and I'll help with my legs when I can, stuff like that. And
Right. So you would probably want to do what my brother did. Maybe not, but if you're going to go up hills, you're going to want to have a wider tire, especially for sand areas. And you would want the weight distributed evenly on the bike. So that his bike is perfect. It's not powerful enough. So it's only 2 1,000 watt motors. I think my e-bike is 1,300 watts, but there's different setups that you can get. You can get a front wheel hub motor drive, and all that is where the motor is inside of the wheel. Or you can get a rear hub motor drive, same thing, but it's a little bit more expensive because it's a little bit more complicated because you have the chain drive there. So you have a hub motor, and most of them are not going to be geared. So when you go up and down a hill, you're not going to have any torque to bring up and down that hill. That's why I decided to go with what's called a mid-drive. And the mid-drive sits right where the pedals are, and uses the chain with all the gearing to pull the rear wheel.
Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Now the drop to them is that it doesn't go as fast. It only go about 25 miles an hour. But if you had a hub motor, you're go like, they have hub motor e-bikes that will go freeway speed.
Wow. Then you kill yourself.
Yeah. My last one went 39.5 miles an hour. And that, anything above 40 miles an hour on the slightest little twist of your wrist, you're over the handlebars. So my warning to everybody is, don't build a bike that goes fast.
Man, I'm only wanting it for trail to do, and I could get like a little trail, motorbike, but only they make too much noise. And the electric ones maybe have a whine, but they're not going to hear it like real far. And hopefully,
will. The hub motors make absolutely zero noise. You don't hear anything.
Well, we don't. They could maybe hear it. But it's something I've been looking into for a while, but they have come down in price since I started looking, but man, they're way out. Way out there. Too far for me. I'm like Social Security, there ain't no way.
I'm actually trying to. I have a kid coming, so I have to figure all that out. But as a part-time gig, I was thinking about starting like a side little electric transportation company that would sell basically just e-bikes, and also another thinking about, but I looked looking into it, and it's going to be about at least $50,000 to start.
Wow.
Well, I have to really think about that before I pull the plug on.
Like doing a restaurant. They're like that.
Yeah.
And then about a year or more to break even.
Yeah, because nobody works for free, unfortunately. But how do you start a product business where you need? I guess I could do a GoFundMe page or a Kickstarter page. I have thought about, but how do you start something when like for example, if I needed to design my own motor, Basically, the design would be $5,000 to $10,000 alone,
Mm-hmm.
and then to actually have a business willing to make the piece that you need, they need like 500 quantity unit purchased, or else they're not even going to do it.
Yeah, and you have to build a prototype, you know, like
Right.
for them to see, and then have it all blueprinted and all that stuff. It's expensive. It really is. You know,
Right.
back in the day when I was a working person, I used to be into all having fun, but I had a really good job at a casino, so I could afford to do a lot of fun stuff. But now, not anymore. You know, I don't. I make way less than the casino, like paycheck to paycheck.
That's, yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, I currently unemployed until I become a nurse. But
Hey, there you
yeah,
go. You become the nurse, you'll be able to afford it. At least all the nurses I know, and I know
well,
a
the first
lot of
thing
them since I got hurt.
yeah, right. The first thing that I'm going to end up doing is probably getting a 4-wheel drive truck,
Yeah.
because like when I saw the thing up on the hill, that was another thought that was running through my head. There is a little roadway where you can get back there, but not in my truck.
Right. Well, you know,
So,
you're one of the. I was talking to a nephew. His best friend and him were at the lake, Millerton Lake, the one that today somebody saw a Bigfoot there. And I haven't talked to the people yet, so I don't know the whole story. I just know somebody saw a Bigfoot there today. And
wow.
I'll get in hold of him sometime this week, and then I'll come back on and tell everyone, or hopefully talk to him. But there was last summer, there was my nephew, and they were working on this house. The person that owned it was the parents of Mikey, that commercial Mikey Likes It. You know, oh, give it to Mikey. Mikey will eat it. Mikey likes it. That commercial.
Never seen it. I don't ever watch TV, man.
I never do either, but this is like when I was a kid, or when my kids were kids, I think. So I would see the TV. But anyways, they were working on his parents' house, and they saw this big black man pulling a cow by one front hoof and one back hoof, and they had it crossed. So it had like the left one on the front and the right one from the back, kind of like. And it was holding it like that, and it was dragging it up the hill and up and over the hill, the same steep of kind of hill that you saw that one walk up. And I showed him the video, and he absolutely started freaking out. You know, I mean, he's like, there it goes, Errolman, there it goes. You know, that was exactly what he saw. He said the one he saw was bigger, though. But I think he was closer, a little bit closer.
Right.
But he said it was dragging a full-grown cow over the hill. And him and his buddy, and me and Jeff went out there, and the hill was so steep we didn't even try to walk up it. It was like almost straight up and down. But we did videotape and got everybody's stories and stuff like that. And when he saw the video, he was like, oh my God, you know, that's it right there. There it is. You know, there it is. That's what he saw, dragging a cow.
That is scary.
Yeah. And I guess they've lost a few cows over there. And it's also on the edge of a reservation. And the burial ground is right there. It's like on the edge of an ancient burial ground of the reservation where they saw it. And so, I mean, that makes
Another thing.
That's another thing to be looking for when you're over there.
Yeah, that's another thing that, because I think Sasquatch, the native tribes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just another thing to take into consideration, because they were in I don't know, voodoo or some crap like that.
Well, they had a war with them here, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It was like 700 years ago. They actually, the Bigfoots were taking the babies and eating them. And
I heard some on some documentary, but I don't know the full details on it.
yeah, and that started a war, and they fought for a long time, and then finally they sat down and they had an agreement. They made an agreement. Now that means they can communicate with humans, and they made an agreement. Certain areas they would stay in, and certain areas the Indian would stay in, and then they would, if they agreed to those boundaries, then there would be no more war. And there hasn't been. In fact, in the area where we go, where I was telling you about the cameras and the owl sounds and it roaring at us and stuff like that.
Right.
I was telling one of my friends, he's happens to be a tribal member here, and he was like, "Where is this?" You know, and I started describing it. He's like, "Oh my God, don't go there." You know, that's one of the areas, and they still hold to it today. It's tradition. They don't go in these areas still today. He goes, "You're going over there, man. You're gonna be dead meat, man. Don't go over there." But it didn't stop me from going over there. That was the reason I was going over there. You know? But I didn't know it was their area not to go in, you know.
Yeah, I don't know anything.
Yeah, it was like it's in between Thule. It's in between Thule and here. So Thule Reservation and here, in between. Like right outside of Sequoia National Park. They're asking me in chat. You know, there's quite a few. There was more, but it's starting to dwindle off, probably because it's getting late. Usually there is more, but it's a weekend and it's Labor Day weekend, and I have a feeling everybody's out having a great time.
Probably so, man.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless, I'll stay on for about 5.
I know. I have to go. I got to go fix my sewer line, and my wife already peeked at me 2 times. she's like, you know, we cannot flush the toilet. You have to come out here and fix this, you know. But I sure appreciate you coming on and allowing me to share the videos, and I thank you so much, and tell everybody your website that you wanted me.
Right, it's on Facebook. It's Tracking Bigfoot, and I named it that because my buddy and I used to make like funny videos on YouTube a couple years ago, and that name came up to me a couple years ago. I was like, Tracking Bigfoot, because I was telling him we should go out on bikes, because I have e-bikes. Said we should go out on bikes to go track Bigfoot, but honestly, that would be scary.
I think it sounds fun to me. I'll go with you.
But you're not even in the protection of a vehicle like a 4-wheel drive car.
I don't know. I'm usually walking, and everybody's going to run away and leave me all by myself anyways, so no scare there.
He chickened, and my buddy Brandon, he chickened out. He didn't want to do that idea, but he was down for doing the 4-wheel drive with my old truck, my old 4-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
So we probably traveled like 500 miles and all that time. It was fun. But like I said, we never saw anything. But yeah, we went through all the hills of California. So it was cool.
Oh, man, I grew up in the mountains my whole life, and I never saw anything. Well, there was a lot of times I couldn't explain things that happened. And once I saw a Bigfoot, it explained everything pretty much. I mean, it was like, aha, you know, now I know what was throwing boulders, and I was in the creek, you know, fishing in the creeks off in the middle of the wilderness, you know, and these boulders are landing in the water. I didn't know what they were. And I was like 12, 15, just hiking up the creeks. a lot of times, you know, it answered all my questions that, or, you know, whatever I thought might be weird, for sure. Well,
Yeah.
anyways, I appreciate you coming on, Dean. Man, thank you so much. And I'm sure everybody enjoys the videos. And you guys could go to Tracking Bigfoot group and see those videos and more. I only showed a little bit. There's more. Just ask to join, and I'm sure that he'll let you in.
My brother told me today, last thing, he said, basically to make everything entertaining and make it worthwhile for everybody, and also to figure out what hell this thing was, to just try to do something like once every week and schedule a day. So I'm going to tell you right now, that day would be, let's see, every Saturday.
Sounds good to me.
That'll work. Every Saturday I will try to do an update, try to do something new, to try to figure something out.
Cool. That's what I'm trying to do with this, the Squatch Zone is every Saturday. But I'm barely getting started. I finally have a dedicated room. Finally getting the equipment all together to do it the right way, you know, so it doesn't sound shoddy and cheap.
Right.
But only I'm not going to be the regular YouTube guy where you come on and do your little intro and all that kind of stuff. I'm not into that. I'm more into the chat and hanging out with everyone and praying with everyone. You know, if they need prayers, they can put comments in the bottom, you guys, for the prayers. And I pray for everyone in Jesus' name. And that's the way it goes.
Yeah, I agree with that statement.
You know, that's how it goes. That's how it rolls, you know. In fact, I was thinking about even doing a little show and picking a time where we all can go, like, I don't care where you live, we would go to a hospital, go to your local hospital, we'll all go at the same time, and we'll have a prayer right in front of the hospital, and we'll pray for the healing of everyone in the hospital, and just sit outside and do that, and then see what happens. Just see what happens, you know. Maybe nothing, maybe we might be surprised.
I believe in prayer 100%.
You know, but I'll let everybody know. And my wife's all into it. She's like, oh, I want to go. She wants to go to that one. You know, she won't go sky watching with me or Bigfooting, but she'll go do that.
Yeah. I mean, my wife, she thinks this is all entertaining and it's all fun. And like I said, she had watched the video and she said that thing's not walking like a human. So it's it
was tightrope walking. It was absolutely tightrope walking up that hill.
I don't even know what it was doing, but yeah, it was. My brother described it best, I think. He said lumbering walk.
Yeah, my nephew was saying, one of my other nephews, he was saying, it looks drunk. You know, it's like drunk wouldn't be able to walk up that hill. I'm sorry, you know, and not stop every 20 or 30 feet.
Yeah. Hey, I will leave tonight's podcast. This note, I challenge anybody. I'll even meet you there. I challenge anybody to try that hill.
Cool. That sounds like a good challenge.
Cannot stop once.
Right. Cool. We'll even maybe we can challenge Shaq. You hear that, Shaq? Go over there and run up that hill for us. 3 miles an hour at least. You know.
I promise you he would stop too. Promise.
I know he won't. Oh, that's funny. All right, well, we'll leave it at that, man. Thank you so much.
Ellen.
And we'll have to do it again anytime, man. Just let me know if you want to come on or you guys get something else or anything, or you just want to chat with everyone. You can, because you could actually go on the YouTube and read the chat yourself live, like if you wanted to.
Here's what I want to do, because I don't want to be the douchebag that it tries to turn this into a fame thing. So I basically saw what I saw, and I know what I know, and take it for what it is. And unless I see something worthwhile, then I mean, I'll say hi to everybody, but I don't want to be the person in the limelight without any further information. I think I've already done what I need to do. I would like to talk to George Norrie to explain the same thing. But beyond that, unless I had something groundbreaking, then I feel like I need to pass the buck.
Right. Yeah, usually you have to write a book or something to talk to George Norrie, but unless you could do open lines night, because I called with my Bigfoot sighting like that, and
Right.
they interrupted me and and sent me packing, but they got most of it. I guess a lot of people call them with all kinds of stories, but if you write a book, man, you're almost guaranteed, because I think they get a little percentage off of every book. And they'll pump that book, and get a little bit of money, a guaranteed way to get on there.
Like I said, I admin over 15,000 people, so I think I have some wiggle room.
Yeah.
Just I might just call in and just say, hey, but I don't know if they're going to bleep out the Facebook page name, and like that's not allowed. I don't know.
No, I think they let you. You can give out emails or your website and all that. They let you.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to basically, I would love to be a guest. That would be amazing, just once in my life.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think a lot of his subjects and a lot of his people that they bring on are just kind of weird. But
well, I know a girl. You can check out Heidi Hollis.
Okay.
Heidi Hollis. I can't remember she wrote a book. Man, I think it's The Hat Man or something like that. You could type in Facebook. She has some groups, paranormal groups, The Hat Man, and she's been on there, I think 4 times on.
Wow.
Yeah, so tell her you know me, and ask her if she could get you in contact with them.
Heidi Hall. Okay.
Yeah, and check her out on Facebook.
Awesome. You can also, you want to send her information because I'm the administrator of that many people.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook doesn't let messenger people, so it'll. I can send the message, but it doesn't go through.
Oh, okay.
It like hides.
Okay, I'll send her a link and have her go on your page. I'm sure she'll join it. I mean, let her sell some of her books or put a link to her books or her group or something. She'll join it.
That sounds good by me. Honestly, the group,
Yeah.
I care about my group, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to completely closely monitor. And I have like a team of moderators, but the Bigfoot one, I create one, to be honest. It's a fun group.
Yeah. Well, I have a couple on Facebook too, and I used to run them, but I don't anymore. Now they are totally the moderators or administrators or whatever, they do it now, and I don't even do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think I spent 2.5 hours today on Facebook administering things. Like, I need to get my life back.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right,
my man.
I appreciate you having me, buddy.
Right on, man. Anytime, and I'll stay in touch with you on your group, anyways. So you have a really good rest of the weekend, man, and I hope you see him again real soon.
Yeah, if I see him, that will be the only, and I promise everybody this time, if I see him, I'm running up there because now I know the terrain.
Sweet.
Yeah, let Heidi know about me, buddy.
I will.
Thank you.
All right, man. We'll see you later.
Have a great night. Bye, guys.
Well, that was cool, man. Thank you, Dean. That was all right. I love his stories, man. And I think he saw a Bigfoot. I really do. And I think he got video of it. I really do. Yeah. And I was trying to keep up with chat, you guys, but only when I have a guest, I don't know if they're like looking at me or not. So I try to give eye contact, and I would do that for all of you guys. Like, even if I'm addressing chat, I try to address you so that I'm looking at you eye to eye, because I love you guys and I'm always praying for you guys. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in. It was fun. Be looking forward to the info on the Millerton Lake sighting that I got tonight. It may be waiting for me when I get off of here and check. If it is, I will be back on tomorrow and tell you about the Millerton Lake sighting and anything I can get out of it. And I hope you guys have a really good Labor Day. And I'm out and going to fix a sewer line. Fun, huh?